Hello, besties! Welcome to Martinez with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV shows. And let's start by saying that this week has been hot, not only in the Bravo universe, but also like weather-wise. I'm like honestly not okay with this weather. I just want this to be over with this heat wave or whatever. Um, the heat wave seems to have been hitting the street of Bravo because we had gotten so many news this week, you guys. Uh, Fights in Potomac, Meghan King going after Louies and Teresa on Watch What Happened Live. We saw Garcelle speaking up on her take on the drama between Mauricio and Kyle on her appearance on Watch What Happened Live. We also got some good news. We got some announcement for BravoCon, and hey, we're gonna be talking about all this stuff today. Obviously, I want to start with the Orange County recap. I always do. Um, I feel like every week we have to kind of like make the same comment. Are you guys enjoying Orange County? Is that's the question that I want to ask you because the the ratings are not rating, and I'm a little concerned because I mean there is a side of me who is truly enjoying this season, but my main issue with Orange County right now it's the fact that there seems to be a sense of desperation for storyline from some cast member. We are gonna dive into it as we talk about the episode, but let's remind ourselves that we are watching Orange County's first cast trip. They went to Montana, and this is the last day of the trip. They decided to do some very outdoorsy activities, which, by the way, I'm still shocked at the you know the paddling or whatever. I forgot what it calls. Why? Can you guys help me out here? They were on those little boats on the river, and it was quite intense. I mean, honestly, I've been on one of those once, and I don't think it was that intense, or maybe it was just the cameras. But I was concerned for the safety of the cast. You saw Jen, you saw Tamra, and you saw uh, Taylor with Kevin, the guy, the instructor, on that little boat, and they were shaking left and right the whole entire time, just as much as Kevin's balls were shaking and like coming out of his shorts every 5 seconds. Um, I was really into the whole ball storyline, and like I need Peacock to make like one of those uncensored versions, um, like they did with Vanderpump Rules. But instead of adding the costume words, I need them to like remove the censorship of the ball sack because I'm kind of curious to see if the description that the ladies were given is accurate to uh, the actual balls. That's a lot of ball talking for one episode, you guys. I think it was a lot of ball talking. But beside the balls, the one thing that was not moving at all was the ladies' paddles. Did you notice that? I don't know if you guys noticed that part when Tamra and Taylor and Jen were screaming, literally screaming, "You have to paddle! You have to paddle! Let's go!" And none of the three of them was actually paddling. They were just yelling at each other, and it was such typical housewife moment where they are trying to do something but actually no one is doing anything at the same time. Very, very housewifey. um there is a moment, you know at the beginning of the episode where Heather, you know pull out a joint, and I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying joint. That's pun intended. I'm enjoying this Heather. Very cool with the the usage of pot on the show. I mean, most people were expecting Heather to be very like, like demure and kind of like not on this type of like antics. Like, let me just pull a joint in the middle of the trip. She spent almost $500 on weed for the trip. You know, it's so funny because the editors were so specific. They said on the little moment where they were at the dispensary, it said it happened 4 weeks, 20 days earlier than the trip. That was very specific information, you guys. And she spent $465.92 in pot for the trip. And if that's not a friend, I don't know what that is. And that's why I'm really upset with how she's been treated on this season, because I started to see a pattern since the season started. It seems like a Heather takedown season. And the reason why I noticed that is because it first started with Tamra, and now it's trickled down to everybody else. We saw Shannon going really hard on her at the end of the episode. We saw Gina going after Heather because she told her not to tell her boyfriend about her issues that's still lingering for her previous relationship. And I'm sorry, that was a great advice. That was a great advice from Heather. Also, Heather was the only one of all of the whole cast who was actually checking on her and making sure that she got a good advice. So I'm still trying to process the reason behind Gina having issues with her. Because if you guys paid attention, it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. It once again, it feels like she is trying really hard to create some sort of storyline, and she kept saying that Heather was not a good friend or something like that because she was telling her that she wasn't around when they weren't filming. They don't say that. They don't say, "Oh, you weren't here when we weren't filming," but that's the idea. It seems like Gina went a long time after finishing filming without texting back Heather, without talking to Heather, and suddenly now she's the one who has issues with her because she didn't text her in the morning to check on her. But she was the only one who pulled her aside and gave her a good advice. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but bringing baggage from your previous relationship into a new relationship, I understand that she should be open with her current boyfriend. That is completely okay. That's part of being in a relationship. But I do think that when it comes down to talking about a very personal, still triggering situation about a previous boyfriend or husband or partner or whatever, I don't think that you should exhaust your current relationship because of it, because it can become exhausting. Even her boyfriend said it, but he said that, yeah, I mean, I don't want to deal with it, but at the same time, I'm her person. And yes, that is very true. But when you nag somebody with the same issue over and over again, that creates more drama in the current relationship. I think Trevor, it's a great guy, and that is awesome, but he shouldn't be dealing with Gina's issues from her past, because the ideal scenario when you go into a new relationship is to step into it with a fresh set of mind, a fresh start. So when you tell your current boyfriend everything about what went wrong or what triggers you from your previous relationship, maybe you are creating a very you know unstable environment for the relationship to grow. You know, I do think Heather was right. Um, I'm gonna share this message from Aaron because I'm happy that we both shared this take. Aaron says, Heather was right. Gina does not need to call and tell Trevor how upset she is about the past. Correct. That's what friends are for. And that's what Heather was telling her when she was talking to her about the situation. She was like, I'm your friend. You are the person that you call when you are being triggered by your past. I'm the person that you text when you are feeling this way. Don't do this to your person because it's not healthy. It's not healthy, and I can say that too. I mean, from personal experiences, you do not want to destroy a good thing that you have right now because you still having lingering problems from the past. That's what a therapist is for. And I hope Gina goes to a therapist because it makes sense. I mean, she's been dealing with it for a long time. This like triggering issues, still putting it on Jen, who has nothing to do with her past. The way that Jen deal with her relationship, that's her problem. And that's where I've been having issues with Gina because I like that Gina is invested, but it seems to me that it's a forced thing to create some interest and have some camera time and not just a real triggering situation. Um, Back to the Heather, random problems that she kind of found now after she gave her some help. Um, does it seem like it make any sense to you guys? I want to know that. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm I'm maybe a little biased because I really like Heather, but I never had an issue with Gina whatsoever. And I always felt that like Gina would be better as a friend of than as a full time housewife because she doesn't bring as much as the other ladies. I mean, I can see how maybe Emily brings something to the table, and still I question her for being this long on the show. I still can't believe that Gina has been on the show for this long. But we are here still in Casita time, and Casita now wants to go after Heather, and it seems calculated. It seems like that's the only way for her to create any type of excitement around her by going after somebody who A was her friend, B is a polarizing person on the show. Um, I see two polarizing people on the show. I see Tamra and I see Heather. And I love Heather because Heather is what I think is a good housewife. She has been very open about her family. She's been very open about how rich she is. And people might think she's a little too much with the money, but we want our housewives to be rich, wealthy, and a little cuckoo. You want to be so out of touch with reality that that is entertaining to watch. Like watching Heather paying $30,000 for a sushi dinner in last year. That to me is housewifey. Why? Because us normal people are not going to spend $35,000 on sushi. On the other hand, um, being a real estate agent doesn't seem as exciting. I mean, it's a great accomplishment. I went to real estate school. I got my real estate license, and that is a great accomplishment. But I think if everyone is interested on real estate, anyone can achieve that. Not everybody can pull $30,000 and just pay for a one night dinner, a sushi dinner, at all the things. So, um, I do understand how some people might see Heather as like she's being pretentious and snobby, but isn't it that the point of Housewife in general? Like when we started watching Housewife, we didn't watch them because they were model citizens. We didn't start watching Housewife because we thought that they were role models or because they were relatable in the financial department. We always saw Housewife as somebody who might have a little more money than all of us, which has changed over time. It's really interesting, but yeah, I mean, it has changed. I mean, we see housewives that are not as rich, they are not as wealthy. We see the Ginas of the world who work at Chili's. You know what? That's one thing that I like about Gina. Gina has taken this chili joke and run with it. I saw her interview recently, and she went and took the joke, and she started saying that she was going after the interview to her Chili's. Um, she was gonna clock in at Chili's and work. You know that she was going for her shift, for her night shift at Chili's. I mean, that is funny. I appreciate that. But that is one thing that she has, and she can have that as a friend of. I mean, don't get me wrong. Um, Money is not the only quality that a housewife should have. For example, Diana Jenkins from Beverly Hills. That woman is extremely wealthy. She is worth $300 million, but she has the personality of a cardboard cutout. So that's what I like about Heather too. That even though she is wealthy, she is rich. She might be a little pretentious. I mean, she talks about stuff that we might not relate to much, but at the same time, she has a personality made for TV. She understands that she is there to deliver. She understands that she needs to clock in for a paycheck. Even though she is rich, she still wants to get her coins, you know? And that's the best part about Heather. And now this season, we see a different side of her. Now that their kids are out of the house, you know, I think she is being a little more herself. She's trying to look more into acting. She's opening up about smoking weed like once in a while. She spent almost $500 for the girls on weed, you know. She got all these ladies high as fuck on that trip in Montana. Who would have thought that Heather Dubrow was going to be the one getting everybody high on a trip? I mean, I was shocked and surprised in a good way, because I support all this. I support, smoking once in a while, getting high once in a while. I take my little, THC gummies once in a while to like chill out at home and watch Housewife and just enjoy the moments and just be like super chill. Like that's one thing that I tried once and I'm not gonna do again. I only do it when I'm watching it like on repeat, or I don't need to live tweet, because I took a pot gummy on a live tweet and it did not go well. Not because I was not being funny, but I was so lethargically enjoying the show that I was missing moments that I wanted to live tweet about. So I had to rewatch the episode and then send the tweets out. But yeah, that was intense. One thing about this episode is that it reminds us that housewife can have fun. That going fishing, going on that little boat on the river. I keep forgetting what is that called. Aaron, if you are here and you can remind me what's the call when you go in those like rafting thing and whatever. I forgot the name of it, to be honest. But you go on that little boat on the river. They were having a great time. There was balls coming out. Even Taylor said that she couldn't keep her eyes away from Kevin's balls. Which, by the way, that kid Kevin, he needs to be a little more frequent on the show, shirtless with his long hair and his painted nails. Because yes, 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 I need more of Kevin on the show. Like for real, like that guy is so attractive. I mean, maybe to me, I have weird taste on guys. I always had, I always will. I have this two extremes. I like guys in tuxedos and very classic and very well spoken and worldwide and whatever. And then on the other extreme, I have a thing for very outdoorsy sort surfers or like skateboarder with the long hair, the nails, the nails painted, and the long hair in like blowing in the air, and like it's just such a weird extremes. Like I there's no in betweens. It's like one side or the other one. I actually have dated both sides of the spectrum, and I can say that both sides have their pros and cons. So yeah, I need Kevin on that show more often, you guys. There was a dinner, and they were sharing the lows and highs of the trip. But the one that I kind of caught my attention is it's not kayaking because you need a kayak for kayaking. But I will remember. Thank you, Aaron, for that. But yeah, it's not kayaking. We will try. This is going to be the new game, you guys. It's gonna be a new game. We're gonna figure it out. I think it's anyways, we will figure it out. But like I was saying, the dinner at the end of the episode, it was all about sharing the lows and the highs. Jen shared that the low was, how she was having issues with Gina and how she made her feel. And she apologized, even though I don't think she needed to apologize because once again, what Gina feels about herself or her past, that's her problem, not Jen's problem. Uh, but the one that I wanna kind of highlight because it caught me by surprise was when Heather told Shannon and Tamra how she felt during the trip now that they are both being really good friends. I mean, she felt a little kind of like an outsider at times and she felt left out a couple of times. And that's a fair feeling. She was very clear too that the issue with Shannon and Tamra, like rekindled their friendship, it was not Tamra and Shannon's, you know, problem. It was her own problem. It was her own issue to look and work on. She said it herself, you know. Um, but Shannon's reaction took me by surprise. I was like, maybe it's a little too much. Maybe you need to like. Maybe she needs to chill. Maybe Shannon needed to chill. I know she was telling Heather, like, "Oh my gosh, you're doing the most" and all this stuff. Uh, but she took this comment so like out of context. She told Heather that now that they are working on their friendship, Shannon and Tamra, after 2 years of not being able to talk or whatever, she's gonna put a low on that friendship, and that got her upset, you know. And I, at that point, Heather already explained herself. So Shannon was doing the most. I mean, I do see why she can feel that way. I mean, Shannon and Heather are friends and they have their ups and downs, but Tamra and Shannon have a long friendship that was kind of like on the rocks. And like I said it before in previous episodes, I still believe that Tamra created this antagonistic fight against Shannon on like podcasts and the media to get herself on the show and have an issue, you know, and solve the issue on the season. And as we can see after a few episodes in, that's what's happening, you know. But I'm not sold on the idea that Tamra is the issue, is the reason why OC is working right now. She is part of the reason why it's moving forward. Yes, I mean you can't deny that Tamra it's a vital part of this franchise, but at the same time, from my perspective, yes, river rafting. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Aaron. That's the word that I was looking for. Yes, you guys, we finally figured out is river rafting. That's what they were doing in the little boat. And it was really intense because those rafts were freaking insane. Like I was saying, I I don't think that Tamra is the person to thank for how OC is delivering really fun moments and dramatic moments. And I'm going to tell you why. The fight that I have been enjoying the most is Taylor versus Heather. That fight to me was by far the most quintessential housewife fight in a while because it's over really fucking dumb shit. It's not that serious, and they already got to the point where they both moved on. It seems like it, in this high, low moment at the dinner, Taylor said to Heather, she apologized and they talked about it, and it seems like everything is good. Um, but then it was Gina's time, and Gina went after Heather. Everybody was shocked and confused. I was confused. There was no reason why she needed to say that Heather was not like checking on her, or she was dismissing her, or by saying like he shouldn't be. I mean, she shouldn't be talking to Trevor about her the past. That's not a low. That's actually should have been her high, because somebody cared for her enough to take the time of their day or night and talk to her while she was having a freaking meltdown. You know? I'm confused. And I posted on my Twitter, it seems like this is just my take. This is not any tea or any inside scoop. This is just Eddie being a messy bitch. I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. I believe that a producer or her producer approached her and told her, you know what, Gina, you need to spice it up. You need to come up with something that we can use to create some tension and create some drama on the show that's gonna keep you afloat, because with Tamra joining, it means that bigger personalities are gonna come on the show and are going to overshadow her, because she's been overshadowed in the past by newbies and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that her producer approached her, told her, you know what? Everybody seems to have an issue with Heather. Let's pile on it. Let's go on it. Let's do that. And it's given LVP treatment from season 9. That's what it's given to me. It's given, okay, every single person on that cast at one point is going to start pushing against Heather. It started with Tamra, bad mouthing her career, and then going to Taylor, pushing Taylor to have a bigger issue with Heather, and then going behind Taylor's back and talking to Heather for her make herself look good to Heather, right? But still being the person stirring the pot. So Taylor has an issue with Heather. Now we have Shannon. Shannon had an issue with Heather on this trip because Tamra was just like downplaying what Heather was telling her on that table. And obviously Shannon was already upset, so she got even more upset. And then you have on the other hand now Gina starting issue with Heather for no reason whatsoever and going to Emily, and we're gonna see that on the next episode. And Emily's gonna start going after Heather too. So it's like they are piling on Heather like they did to LVP on during Puppygate. That's just my take. That's my opinion, and I don't know if Heather is gonna have the same reaction as LVP. Is Heather gonna leave the season, the show after the season? I hope not, because to be honest, she is the only one with true money on that show. I said what I said. Tamra can say all she wants. Gina still lives in like a small casita. Emily, everybody on that show, if you put them wealth together, if you add up every single person on that show's wealth, it still is not Heather Dubrow's wealth. She is like maybe twice as rich of the whole entire cast wealth together. So from my perspective, Heather is a very fundamental part of Orange County, and I hope this is not a takedown season. I do like that Jen is activated, and she's a newbie and she's activated. She was talking to Ryan, and it seems like Ryan is denying everything that Tamra was saying. Obviously, I'm not surprised about that. No guy is gonna admit to that, even if it's true or not. Do I believe it? I'm not sure. I mean, Tamra didn't tell Eddie before. Tamra didn't tell Jen. She waited until the cameras were rolling. It's easy to put that on a guy who already has a cheating past. I'm not defending Ryan. I don't even know this man. I mean, he's been on the show for a hot minute. But we do have a track record of Tamra lying about somebody else on the show to create some tension. And what is really interesting is that I'm seeing a pattern here. Tamra brought Jen and she brought Taylor to the show in this season, and she has thrown both of them under the bus. You know, Jen more than Taylor. Taylor was maybe like to create some tension for like a half minute with Heather, but the whole Jen thing is a little more dangerous. She was saying that Ryan is like the Brooks, the new Brooks, and like nobody is like Brooks. Brooks is a piece of fucking shit. You know, we all know Brooke. We all know what he did. We know how he treated Vicky. We know how much he lied about his own health, which I think is fucking disgusting. You know, playing that car. No, no, no. That was low. That's one of the lowest shit I've seen on Bravo. And Bravo has a lot of low points on some shows, but that was one of the lowest of the low because you do not lie about something so serious. If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. Um, at the end, Gina was talking to Trevor, and once again, she reinforced the idea that Heather was not being a good friend. She said that she has just a few close friends, very few, and she's been really upset, and all this issue with Heather are eat her up, and like those issues weren't eating you up when you didn't text her back or call her when the camera stopped filming last season. So I question this level of friendship or whatever Gina is trying to sell. I'm not buying it. Once again, it seems forced. It seems like she really is in a desperate need of a storyline. You know, um, it's like I posted on my Twitter. Her issue with Heather is definitely a non-issue, and in Nini's words, it's getting weird. You know, um, yeah, it's she keeps saying that she's not a good friend, and I'm just really confused, because based on what I saw on the show, that's what a true friend does: give you an advice, help you move on, and get out of those really tough times. And that's what Heather did. She sat down in that freaking little car while she was crying her eyes out and just like having a freaking meltdown. So I don't know what else Gina wants. I don't know if she wants a cookie. Maybe she wants the cookie or a gold star or something. And Heather didn't give her that. You know, I'm still confused. And like I said before, if you guys understand the issue behind this, please let me know because I have no fucking idea. That is all when it comes to Orange County. We're gonna be talking about now hot takes and hot topics on the Bravo universe. We have plenty to talk about because this week, like I said before, is as crazy as the heat wave that I'm dealing with right now up here in New York because it's driving me freaking crazy. Um, Also, it's raining every day, which I hate. I hate the rain. Summer is supposed to be fun. Like they said in Summer House, like Kyle said, summer must be fun. Summer should be fun. And rain is not fun. And talking about rain and water, about 2 days ago, we got some breaking news from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Dorit Kemsley and PK mansion got flooded after the reality star accidentally left the water running. That's what Radar Online was reporting. First of all, how much water was running for a whole mansion to be flooded? And at the same time, weren't they having financial issues a couple of like months ago? People were questioning Dorit fashion on the new season, saying that maybe she definitely is on a low budget this season. So I'm not saying that this was an insurance scam. I don't want to get sued. I'm not alluding to that. But it just doesn't sit right. It doesn't make any sense. Who leave the water running in the first place? And for how many days was this water running so it flooded the whole entire mansion? Is the insurance gonna cover all this stuff? I mean, this is in California. I'm not sure if they have flooding. It's like a mandatory thing in California. I'm not sure. I'm from upstate. I live in New York, so we don't have flooding insurance. I believe. I think that's for houses close to a water body, like a river, a lake, the ocean. Like people by the coast, they do have like floating, like a floating insurance, because like a river can, for the because of the rain, a river can just start like flooding your house, or the ocean and all this stuff. So that to me makes no sense. I'm just saying that Dorit and PK, I mean, and the streets of the Twitter world are talking a lot and are pinpointing at the fact that it's really interesting how last season was a robbery for insurance and now there's a floating for insurance. I was watching Austin Power, and in that moment when they said like, release the cracker or release this, and I think like Dorit went to PK and said like, hey PK, we need more money, and he was like, release the home floating. That's what I think it happened. It's just a allege. Don't take it too seriously. This is for entertainment purposes. I'm just saying that the Kemsley's mansion was floated because somebody forgot to turn off the water. That's crazy. One thing that I'm excited about to talk about right now, it's BravoCon. I'm gonna talk about this because I want to talk about like one shitty news and one happy news. My happy news is BravoCon. BravoCon is going to be in Vegas this year, and it's gonna take place on November 3rd to the 5th. And obviously, your boy is going because I'm not gonna miss this party for none in this planet. Yesterday, we got the news of when the tickets are gonna go on sale, and it's this coming Thursday. This Thursday, the tick. No, I'm sorry, Friday. Friday. Yeah, I just read the wrong date. It's Friday, July 21st at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. It's going to be available at BravoCon2023.com. The tickets are going to be, there's only 2 tiers this year. If you guys went to BravoCon last year, there were 3 tiers. There was general admission, there was VIP and SVIP. This year, it seems like there's only going to be general admission for $550 plus taxes and fees, and VIP for $1,200 taxes and fees. There is going to be more add-ons. There's going to be some add-ons exclusively for VIP. So that's where I think Bravo is putting their money on. Because last year, the SVIP included everything and included a lounge that was only exclusively available for SVIP ticket holders, where you can hang out with the Bravo Labs, have cocktails. There was like appetizers and stuff like that. It was really fun. It was quiet because like it wasn't that many people coming in and out. But I was reading the what each category includes, right? There is a question by Erin here. First of all, she said, so excited to see the info you come back with from BravoCon. There's going to be a lot of info, you guys. There's going to be a lot. And like I said, there's going to be information available for everybody. And there's going to be some BTS behind the scenes and exclusive moments for my members only section on my YouTube channel. So start signing on my members only. There's a new video coming out tomorrow, and thank you for those who are starting to clocked in on the members only section. I really appreciate the support. And Aaron is also asking me, are you going to No Filter in New York this month? For those who don't know, my friends Bros and Zach from No Filter with Zach Peters are doing a show in New York City next week actually, and as the it's at the City Winery, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm going just because it overlaps with something that I have going on, but I am 90% trying to make it. I really want to go because I love them all. So if I go, I will bring you some tea. I do know that Meghan King is going to be there, and I have a couple of hot takes from her appearance on What Will Happen Live. So we will talk about it. But if I go to the No Filters, I will bring you all the tea from that. That is gonna be fun. I really love the Brad Bros and Zach Peters from No Filter with Zach Peters. So if you are in the New York City area, or if you are planning to be in the New York City area on July 26th, I believe. Let me double check this. I don't want to give you bad information. I want to support my friends. So I'm gonna find out right now when the event is. Here it is. It's July 26th at City Winery, New York City. Brad Bros with Zach Peters from No Filter with Zach Peters. It's going to be fun. I love them all, and I hope if you are listening, you go and support them because they are, from my opinion, people who, even though a lot of times we don't agree on takes, I love them as like no matter what because they work so hard for their content. They are always hungry for content and delivering content that we all love or hate, but we pay attention to what they're saying. So I love that about them. Also, they one thing I can say about Zach Peters and the Brad Bros is that they are able to separate the opinion from the person. Something that a lot of people out there or content creators out there are not able to do, and it's hard to become friends with somebody who only see you as an opinion instead of seeing the whole package. So I do love that about the Brad Bros and No Filters with Zach Peters. This is not a paid advertisement. I really love this guy. It's really funny because I am, in fact, wearing a Brad Bros hat. But no, it's not a paid advertisement. I just truly love them. I think they are absolutely amazing people. And I hope I do get to go because I miss them and I want to see them in person. Back to the Bravoholics and the BravoCon's news. There's two tiers, like I said before. The general admission is called Bravoholics, and this one includes pretty much everything. Includes access to BravoCon for 3 days. This is general admission. BravoCon 3 days, access to the whole programming, access to the Bravo Bazaar. That's where people, Bravo Labs sell their products and stuff. It's really fun. If you want to buy stuff, better take an extra luggage with you because you're going to find a lot of Bravo products that you might want to buy. There's going to be photo ops. There's going to be food and beverage options, add-ons, like What Will Happen Live with Andy. You need to pay for those add-ons. But then you have the another tier, the VIP, is called Future Bravo Lab. Includes everything that comes with General, obviously on a VIP level. There's going to be a VIP fast lane for VIP holders at the Caesar Forum. That's where the BravoCon is going to be held. There's going to be preferred seating at BravoCon programming at Caesar Forum. So that means that there's going to be an assigned section for VIP holders. There's going to be a special lounge for the VIPs. There's going to be access to Bazaar, like I said before. That's part of the generals too. There's going to be theme and Bravo photos VIP access, which means that there's going to be a different lane for VIPs. Last year they tried to do it, it was a little messy, so I'm hoping that this time around, if we are spending that much money, I hope they organize the photo ops a little better. Obviously, there's going to be ticket add-ons, special VIP add-ons for the VIP ticket holders, like the Watch What Happen Live and all the stuff. There's going to be also, they are saying that not only they're going to be the regular add-ons like Watch What Happen Live and um, I believe the Legends Ball and Bravo Palooza. There's going to be VIP exclusive add-on experiences too. So, as you guys know, I like myself an exclusive experience. That's what I'm going for, and that's what I'm gonna get all the tea from. I'm excited for BravoCon. Like I said before, it's going to be held in Vegas on November 3rd to the 5th, and I hope you go. If you go and you see me out there, say hello. I have no problem saying hello to people. Last time, a couple of people asked for a picture, which was kind of a strange experience because I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm that important for people to be asking for my photo at BravoCon, but I appreciate the sentiment. So, like I said, if you wanna say hello, if you wanna give me a hug, if you wanna take a picture, don't punch my face. That's the only thing that I ask for. Don't be violent against me, because I know some people probably hate my opinion, but just don't become violent. That's not a good thing. Uh, because if we're gonna talk about violence, I wanna talk about what happened last night at the Real Housewives of Potomac filming. That is being taken the internet by storm. When I say storm, is everybody is talking about it. The Ladies of Potomac is finishing filming their season. Their season, it seems like we have only gotten like little pictures. We don't have any idea of what's happening behind the scene, which I appreciate because I like when my shows are, a surprise. When we don't hear about a show, it doesn't mean that the show is boring. It means that they are smart enough to keep the fans talking and hoping that the fans are gonna tune in to find out what's really, really happening. That's how it's been forever. That's how it's been for a long time. Yes, we get some leaks and once in a while back in the day, but now it seems like everything leaks from everywhere, and sometimes it can get a little annoying. Even me as a content creator, I want to be surprised when I watch a season. But it seems like this season is gonna end in a really low. I'm gonna say a low because I am not a fan of physical violence. I mean, people are gonna call me hypocritical because I do love me a really strong housewife. I do like when the housewife know how to clap back, but a clap back is just a verbal thing. You can say anything, and as far as there's no like physical reaction, there's no punch, there's no like dragging by the hair. Like I always been very vocal about, you know, I love Monique. I think Monique is an excellent housewife. She's a top tier housewife, but she fucked up the moment that she became violent against Candace. If she didn't do that, I think she will still be on the show. Then we have Portia. Portia dragged, Kenya by the hair, right? And I knew that at that moment Portia lost it. And we saw the consequences of her actions. She was demoted to a friend of, and she didn't hold a peach because of that. Then we have Margaret and the whole like your husband is in the pool. Like it's like a funny moment, yes. But do I agree with it? No, because putting your hand on somebody else, it's not okay. I don't care who you are. I don't, and I know people find that moment really funny. On the other hand, when Danielle pull Margaret hair, I also don't agree with it. I'm not a Margaret fan. Everybody knows that. I cannot stand Margaret Joseph because I do think that she is part of the problem of New Jersey. People blame Teresa, and sometimes people blame Melissa, and that I'm a tree stump. I don't care. I'm gonna be biased. But when it comes to the person that bring the most negative energy to the show, I still believe Margaret Joseph takes the win on that one in New Jersey. That's just my opinion. So even though Danielle dragged her and maybe a little inside me giggle, I do not do not agree with it. You know, I don't think anyone should be putting anyone's hand on anybody. So what I saw last night was, to me, still shocking. For those who don't know, there is a newbie on the show. Her name is Kiana. She is friend with Wendy, you know, with Dr. Wendy. They were filming last night at Ashley's and um, Giselle's. I'm not sure if they are doing it together, but the event was definitely Giselle's and Ashley. It's for a clothing line, you know, like athletic clothing line, which is giving me Shiba Shiret once again. I hope they are not, you know, delusional and price them at like $300 because Shiba delusional is freaking delusional. But they were doing that last night. It was being filmed for the show. It seems like after the cameras were put down, I'm not sure. I don't think that the fight was filmed for the show, but there was a obvious altercation. You know, it seems like Deborah. For those who don't remember Deborah, she is like the Muppet. Candice used to call her the Sesame Street character. It seems like Deborah is being really thirsty to be a flute holder and to have a seat at the reunion. This event is the event before the finale, which films tomorrow night. Deborah was bad mouthing Candace and Chris, and obviously Candace approached her and talked to her and told her to just to chill or like to get lost because she's still trying to get camera time. It was said that she paid her way to the cast trip in Dominican Republic when she was not even invited, but she made her way there because she paid for it herself, and now she's making her way into this event, which kind of makes sense because she is friends of Ashley's, but her desperate ass trying to get on a flute seems like was the catalyst of this fight. Kiana was defending Candace and it got physical. Literally dragging people, punching people. You see people trying to break the fight. And this is not what we watch Potomac. Potomac, I hold Potomac in a higher standard than pretty much every single franchise right now. Because the only time that I saw something like really like highbrow behavior was when Monique got physical with Candace. But beside that, it's been really petty, shady moments, fun moments, and stuff like that that makes this show really fun to watch. Even with Robin and Giselle's nonsense. I still think the Potomac has a different, I will say, kind of like a feeling than the other Housewife franchises, right? So to see this, it's not a way to end the season. I really hope that production stepped in and first of all asked Deborah to not return to the set. She should be banned because first of all she is not a cast member. She's not a friend of. She's just a random person who really has been desperate to be a main character. And then what happened is that if Bravo give her what she wants, which is the attention, I mean, what is the example right there? You know, it's just not the way the Potomac should be going. I think Deborah shouldn't be invited anymore. And if there is a reunion where they even gonna talk about this issue, I hope she's not invited because it's thirsty behavior. And you know what happened when there's thirsty behavior? The the real part of the reality of the show loses its magic because we as viewer know exactly why she went and was antagonistic at that event. knowing that they are filming the finale tomorrow. What would be the best way to secure at least a seat at the reunion to kind of talk about anything? That would be the way. But this is not what Bravo should be rewarding right now. I don't think it's okay. I don't think she should be even invited to future events on future seasons. I think Ashley should take her friend and just tell her to, like, kick rocks. Embarrassing. That to me has been really embarrassing to watch. Another thing that I've been noticing on Instagram and on Twitter is the fact that Vanderpump Rules seems to be leaking every single storyline so far. Not by the people involved, but by people in the goddamn phones. But right now we have more updates. It seems like there's been two different takes on Raquel's future on the show. Last week we heard that she was gonna start filming, right? That her contract was signed or whatever. Then TMZ broke the news that her contract was not fully fulfilled and they were still negotiating, right? Now we found out that she was released from her mental health, you know, I don't know, like institution. I don't know where she was. A spa. I mean, it's debatable because I'm not really sure where she went, but she went to a special place to deal with the her mental issues, which is good. Which is good. Everybody should be doing that. If you have any type of like mental health problems, please look for help. I'm a very I'm an advocate for that because I deal with anxiety and depression, and going to a therapist helped me, working out helped me. So find those things that help you overcome those really like low times. So I do agree that Rachel went to that place to find some help after the stress that she got, you know, and rightfully so. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, she was bullied and stuff like that." Like we need to put stuff in perspective. She signed up on a show, you know, and she also fucked up big time by sleeping with Sandoval. So it was expected that she was going to get heat from left and right of the cast because her actions were also very questionable in general towards everybody else. You know, the ending the engagement with James didn't go well. The fact that she was flirting with every guy on the cast, the fact that she ended up sleeping with Sandoval while pretending to be best friend with Ariana, all those little things that she did were the reason why she got the hit she got. She's not a victim. I need people to stop thinking that Rachel was a victim in this whole thing because the only victim was Ariana at the end of the day. She was the one who got cheated on by her partner and lied to by her so-called best friend. So we need to stop, kind of twisting this narrative because that's not it. I'm not gonna allow it. I don't like it when people go on my post and try to say that Ariana is too much or Ariana did this or Ariana was bullying Rachel. I'm like, no, 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 no. Ariana reacted. If anything, Ariana kept it cool by sitting on her chair and not jumping across the freaking stage, which I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have support. Physical stuff, we don't support that stuff here. But in real life, if you're talking about real life, if somebody cheats on you, you're not going to just forgive and forget in a half minute. It's not how it works. And when they were filming that season finale in that reunion, it was 2 weeks after she found out what they did. And that was the first time of her seeing them. So trust me, she handled it better than I would handle the situation myself. So now that Rachel is out of the mental health institution, we will find out if she's actually going to start filming anytime soon. And also, there's also another big reveal today. She doesn't want to be called Raquel anymore. She wants to be called by her birth name, Rachel. And I'm like, well, thank you, because I've been calling her Rachel pretty much for the past 6 months. Finally, she said it. Like, come on, it's not. It. People were comparing this to like misgendering people, which I think it was one of the dumbest freaking, you know, comparing things that I've seen in my life, because you cannot compare a nickname to a full identity. I mean, how dense can you be to not get that part? So now that Rachel has dropped her Raquel nickname, we all are going to call her that, Rachel. That's her real name. And I do believe that my biggest issue with her coming back on the show is that if anyone speak up whenever she's talking about whatever happened, or even if Ariana still not ready to forgive and forget, if they had to have a sit down and talk and Ariana just let it have it, people are gonna say, oh look, she's bullying her again. She went to her mental health institution, so now we have to talk to her like, like walking on eggshells. I do not like that, because I don't want people to utilize that to use it like she is a victim. No, she needs to take accountability and work hard to regain an ounce of you know respect and an ounce of like trust on that group. So am I interested on her? No, I don't care for Rachel for one reason. Before Scandal, we did not care about Rachel whatsoever. During Scandal, she even during the whole thing, to me, she was just a she was just Sandoval's side chick. And she's always been somebody else's chick. She was James's chick, then she was Peter's chick, and then she was Oliver's chick, and then she was Swarth's chick. I mean, and then Sandoval's. I mean, that's my problem with her. As a character of a show, she doesn't have any development skills. And her personality is as interesting as a cardboard cutout. She is a very pretty girl. She's a very pretty girl, and I mean, she's a pretty girl. Beautiful dresses, beautiful dresses. But as a reality TV star, I don't think she's needed. I don't think after this, right? We are at the point where Scandal is the past. Like I hope we don't go into a new season and spend a whole season once again expecting everybody to talk about Scandal, because it's like last year's now. Like literally last year's feel. It feels like it happened in 2022, even though it happened in February. But at the end, everybody has moved on. That's the thing. Ariana has moved on. She has a new boyfriend. She has a business going on. She has endorsements. She's gonna be on Dancing with the Stars. She's going to be a special guest in Love Island. She has, she's busy. She's booked and busy. She's moved on. She doesn't have to relive her experience with Sandoval and Rachel, because she's already done with it. Then we have like Lala, Sheena, Katie, and based on what they're doing on their Instagram, they also over it. We saw Sheena filming with Sandoval a couple of nights ago, and it seems like she had a very heated conversation with him. People are filming with him because we saw Swartz too, like filming with him, and Sheena. So some people have agreed to film with him, but it doesn't seem like it's going like, okay, they're forgiving what he did. No, it seems like they're like, okay, we just have to do this because we are getting paid. But you are fucking crazy. you know. Um, what else is for Rachel to do? Like, once again, I want people to take this into perspective. You know, some people are saying, "Oh, but Rachel was the main storyline." I'm like, no, she was the catalyst. That's two different things. That's not a main character. That's the person who is kind of like pulling a trigger, and a lot of events happens, but that trigger alone is not what the story became for what it was. You know. Also, pre-scandal, post-scandal, and during scandal, when there was a moment for Rachel to shine, which is like her solo scenes, it was a flop. So if we are moving away from scandal, or if we are moving forward with the story, she is going to be back to just background noise. So this need for her on this show, that people are trying to say like, oh, no Rachel, no ratings. I'm like, I want to know how she's gonna do when it's time to face people who have bigger and stronger personalities. Because even though she was very quiet and took every job that came at her way during the reunion, it seems like she was still so out of touch that when she was alone in the trailer, it was um it was really really boring. Like her moments in the trailer, boring. Aaron, thank you for joining. I will see you next week. Oh, guys, make sure that you save Monday, July 17th at 1 p.m. because Sam from Summer House is coming live and she's gonna be here. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say about Rachel. I mean, I think Rachel is a beautiful girl, beautiful dresses, but as a reality TV star or as somebody who's needed on the show, I don't buy it. I don't sign up on that. I don't think she's needed. I think her time on the show is as over as Scandal. Period. .com. I want to say one last thing. I want to talk about New Jersey real quick. And I'm gonna be very clear because I don't want people to come for me left and right like the people have been doing every time that I give my opinion on New Jersey. But a couple of nights ago, Meghan King was on Watch What Happened Live and she was asked about Louis. And I'm gonna say one thing. This is going to be a hot take. First of all, why is Andy constantly asking about Louis and Teresa to every single guest on the show? Why is Andy asking every single guest to give their opinion on Teresa and Louis? When I had never seen him, or maybe if you have the time to clock me, because I like when people clock me, you know, if I'm lying. But when the whole BravoCon incident happened with the Gorgas and Jennifer Aiden, that was very public and very, very scary in many levels. He never asked anyone about their opinion on the Gorgas or Joe Gorga, or the way that he treats women, or the way that he calls women, you know, bitches and garbage and stuff like that. I never seen anything like that, you know. But I have noticed a trend in the past couple of weeks that every time that he has a guest, he likes to throw the. So, what do you think about Louis and Teresa? I'm not sure why it's even important to ask that question because I thought we were moving on. I thought we were okay, done with Jersey. It's a wrap. They're trying to keep everything on the wrap because, as you guys know, Jersey started filming in August. I do know though that we might be surprised with some cast. not changes, but addition. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I have heard, chirps and tweet, and little birds in my head. Um, but there might be some additions to the show, so we're gonna have to wait and see. But do not come for me if it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that I heard that there might be some interesting uh, people showing up. But yeah, I was just taken back by that question. I thought that we were moving forward and leaving New Jersey in the past, but a lot of the questioning about the whole Louis thing is being, uh, you know, I've been noticing that, and I like I said before, I'm not going to defend Louis because I don't know the man personally, but it really feels a little bit of a. I mean, it's too much. Like the way that people talk about Louis without knowing him as a person is what I don't like. Like you can have your opinion about somebody, right? But the way that Meghan King responded to it, he's like, oh, he's a narcissist. He's like Brooke level narcissist. I'm like, do you know this man? You knew Brooke. That is true. I mean, that's 100%. You knew Brooke, and you knew that he was a piece of shit. And I have nothing against Meghan King. I actually like her on Orange County. So when she was saying that, I was like, oof. I mean, that is really a strong opinion, you know. And like I said, like you can have your opinion about somebody. That's completely fair. But when you don't know somebody, you need to say like I feel like this person is this, or I feel I don't trust this person. But the way that it was said, the body language, the word, the tone of the words, and the voice were really a little too much. I think Andy needs to either step in and correct people or not ask these questions anymore, because what is he expecting people to do in that point, you know? Also, let's not forget one thing, and I'm not gonna start with conspiracies because it seems like New Jersey has become the conspiracy franchise. Everything is paid for. Everything is uh, you know, like I said before, I had gotten people saying that I get paid by Louis and Teresa. No, I do not get paid. What I'm saying is this is not a conspiracy, but these are observations. They are true, and you have to pay attention. The person who represents Meghan King is the same PR person that represents Margaret Joseph. In the past few weeks, we had seen news that Margaret Joseph is not comfortable filming with Louis. I'm not sure what she's talking about because at the end of the day, she was fine filming with a lot of other people who have been just as aggressive, or I I mean, she was the one poking the bear in the first place. I mean, that's what I don't get, what people forget. The person poking the bear at the beginning of it all was Margaret Joseph. I'm not lying. The person who went out and tried to start the whole little videos and calling Louis's exes for information and becoming friend with Louis's exes was Margaret Joseph. And she said it herself on the show. Even before Teresa brought Louis to the show, she was already investigating who he was and calling his exes. That is shown on the show. I'm not making this up. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not like whatever. If you watched the show and paid attention, you can go back and rewatch. Before Teresa brought him on the show, Margaret was already trying to find any dirt that she could on him, and also was talking to his exes. So I like to put one and one together. I was studying that, and I was like, it seems like a PR movement more than anything. Because if Meghan King is asked about Louis, who allegedly has a problem with Margaret Joseph, and Margaret Joseph PR the same way as Meghan King, she is just being a megaphone for the PR, plan that they have. What would be the best way to push Louis out of the show? That start this idea that he is dangerous, that he's doing all the moves and stuff. That, I mean, if you are into PR, you know that that is not a stretch. You know that that happens all the time when a client defends another client because the PR is making sure that the other client gets what they want. And what Margaret Joseph wants is Louis out of the TV. And I'm gonna tell you why I think she wants him out of the show. Even though people call Louis very, you know, manipulative, or like he talks for Teresa all the time or whatever. Let's not forget that the only time that Teresa has been able to defend herself properly is when Louis is present and Louis is helping her to either calm down and put her thoughts together, or like think what she needs to say, or step back. And because, I mean, we all know that Teresa likes to express everything with emotions, and sometimes if somebody else caught her, her thoughts go like all over the place. That happens to a lot of people. That happens to me too. When I'm talking and somebody cut me off, sometimes I lose the train of thoughts. So that's what I feel like Teresa has, and a lot of the cast members know that, especially those who like to go against Teresa, know that the best way to get Teresa to get her riled up is for her to explode her emotion, just like vomit, like word vomit. But Louis has been that person who maybe his presence has made Teresa more confident and comfortable going against these people. And for them to be able to go after Teresa and feel secure and safe and know that they can win, quote unquote, is by removing that support and that backbone that Teresa got. And that backbone is Louis, you know? So I can see that as a viewer and as somebody who's been analyzing this show for a very long time. And I mean, it's quite obvious. So the whole appearance on Watch What Happened Live, uh, and the comments that Meghan King said, from my perspective, it feels more deliberate than people made it seem. It seems like it was more like a PR tactic that came directly from her PR, who happens to be Margaret Joseph PR. And that is my opinion. You know, talking about PR and talking about Watch What Happened Live, before I go, I want to share my thoughts on last night's episode with Garcelle. I absolutely adore Garcelle. She is my queen. She is one of the nicest people that I know in the Bravo universe. Kind, loving. As you guys can see, she's always commenting on my Twitter whenever it's something funny. She knows how to she is a great, great person. I have seen a lot of hate toward her lately, and I'm not going to tolerate that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna tolerate people just trash talking my girl Garcelle. She was on Watch What Happened Live, and she was asked two very important questions that I want to share with you. One was about the bots, the attack that her son went through while filming, while the show was airing last season. We all were witness of that. We all know what happened. It was a horrible attack on her son, on his social medias, and racial slurs and hate speech on his post, and it was a farm bot attack, which is when somebody pays a fee for bots to post on somebody's account and create this like massive notification of really crazy comments. Andy asked her if she heard from Diana, and she said no, she hasn't heard from her since the end of the season last year, and there was no resolution on the whole investigation, quote unquote. And she feels like, there was more than one person involved. She said that during the reunion filming, she mentioned those people, or she say like it was just not just Diana, or allegedly not just Diana, but more people involved in the attack. And there was no resolution. But as a mother herself, she know who did it. I think we all know who did it, but that is alleged because we don't want to get sued. But I feel like we all know who was behind the farm bot attack. That was one. The other one was when she was asked about Kyle and Mauricio's situation and if we are going to see it played out on this coming season. She said yes. The whole conversation about Mauricio and Kyle having an issue in her marriage is going to be part of the next season. And also Sutton and Garcelle and Sutton were the ones that were kind of like having suspicious like about the whole thing. And I mean honestly, if I mean we all been paying attention. We all been watching the show for a long time. And even though Kyle and Maurice have been stayed together for a long time, we do know that they haven't had a perfect marriage. That's kind of obvious. Um, I'm excited for Beverly Hills. I said it from the beginning that I'm so excited because I do know that the season is going to be good. And it's great that we don't have that many leaks out there. We do know that now we know that the Kyle situation is going to be talked about on the show. I read also that the cameras are being picked up to kind of like get some like extra footage now that the separation has become a little more public. Even though Kyle and Mauricio have been denying any divorce route for them, it seems like they're just having a tough year. Garcelle said that she has checked on Kyle, and Kyle has replied saying that she's hanging on there. And today I saw an interview where Erica Jane was asked the same question, and she said that she's not going to talk about it because that's not her place. She doesn't want to create a narrative the way that people created one for her when she was going through a hard time. I'm sorry to say, but Erica, it's not the same thing. A divorce is not equal having a husband who stole money from the victim of, uh, you know, airplane crashes and gas explosions. I mean, so it's not the same. Not the same. And also, your reaction on the show and on public was what really created all this questioning and narrative. So it's not just the cast, it was anyone with eyes and a brain was questioning what happened to you. But she said that she didn't want to talk about Mauricio and Kyle because she didn't want to kind of like add on any other layer to it. And Kyle will be having a year on the show, and we're gonna be able to watch it. And she is going to allow Kyle tell her own story, which I give props to Erica. I'm gonna give props when it's I always like to give prop when props are deserved. She was very good at trying not to be, inserting herself in the issue or putting more like tea or leak more information when she doesn't have to. She kept it very neutral, very professional. I think Erica is just really focusing. She's focusing on Vegas right now. She's focusing on launching her, residency. And guess what? I mean, I'm not an Erica fan, but I also like when somebody decides to move forward with their lives. I like when somebody is working hard for their dreams. And even though I do not like Erica's reaction and actions during the whole Tom, scandal. I mean, she has a dream to be a pop star and whatever she wants to do. And I'm gonna say, you know what, go for it. Good for you. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about Erica. You know, at least she's trying to do something else than acting as a victim. But yeah, I'm excited for Beverly Hills. I'm excited for Potomac. I just hope that this whole fight with Potomac doesn't ruin a great season. and we are gonna keep our eyes open because more shows are coming back to the air. This weekend we have the premiere of Housewife of New York, and as you guys know, I'm really freaking excited for it. Um, Last night they had the premiere night in New York City at the party. We saw many pictures and videos. They all look beautiful. They are amazing. I do believe that they have the potential to be a very strong cast. My favorite right now are Bren, Sai, and Jenna. Those are my three favorites. I love me a really sassy, amazing, bubbly housewife, and that's Bren. I'm happy that we have some Afro Latina representation on Sai because that is a big, big population in New York City. You know, for those who know, New York City has a big population of Dominican people, so and Puerto Rican. So I'm happy that Afro Latinos are being represented on the show and in the city that is a very diverse city. And I love Jenna. Jenna is being one of the people that I adore in the fashion world. I've been following her career for a long time. I love fashion, and when she was announced as a cast member, I was like, no fucking way. The Jenna Lyons is going to be a housewife. So I'm excited. Um, so make sure to tune in this Sunday. There's going to be a new episode of Crappy Lake 2 and obviously a new episode of Atlanta. We will be talking about these episodes next week on our recap. And on Monday, make sure to save the date. Monday at 1 p.m. I'm going to be chitty chatting with my dear friend Sam from Summer House. It's going to be a fun interview. You don't want to miss it. We're going to be celebrating. It's going to be cocktails. I'm going to be wearing pink in her honor because she is a living Barbie. Also, if you are enjoying this crazy world that is Martini with Eddie, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a members only section too that you can join. There's going to be weekly videos, weekly content that is different from any other content that I post anywhere else. Also, like I said before, now the BravoCon is coming. A lot of BTS, which is behind the scenes, and exclusive information is going to be posted on my members only on YouTube. So you can either subscribe just to my YouTube channel as a subscriber or get the members VIP lounge section. That's how I call it. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my podcast on any platform that you use. And most importantly, to rate a podcast because that's the best way to help a podcaster to, rise above all the sea of content creators. If you want the extra tea, you can find it on Instagram and Twitter. I'm also on Thread, which is the Twitter version of Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, and my merch line is you can locate it on martinewitheddy.com. That's my own website. I've been slacking on merchandise, but I promise you there is a collaboration that I'm planning for the release and the premiere of Beverly Hills that is going to be amazing. You don't want to miss that. Yeah, it's been a great week on the Bravo world, and all I'm gonna say, besties, is I have a great weekend. Please, all I ask for you guys is to please subscribe and rate. That's all I ask for. If you wanna add join into the membership section, great. Oh, also on YouTube, you can find super thank yous and super stickers who are kind of like a little token of like thank you for the information and helps me to create more content. So there is a section right on YouTube called Super Thank Yous. And you click on it and you can just send me a note and all the stuff and I'll read it. And I'll obviously read it on here on the podcast too. So thank you so much. And besties, have a great weekend. Say this with me. 1, 2, 3. Bye, besties.